Let's dive into the discussions shaping the nation.
First of all, I welcome the opportunity of speaking on this. We're nearly 3 weeks into this bomb that hit the West, the Midlands and the North West. It's good to see people coming back, but my God, 3 weeks is a long time. I think Éowyn Ryan's dream of his heir to water turned into a nightmare for most people that were perished in their houses. Thank God a lot of people had a chimney, and I think we should go back and make sure that people are allowed chimneys in all counties, because what some people endured was catastrophic. I think we need to commend the SB, the people on the ground, not the people up at the top. There's a lot of talk about infrastructure, but I've gone around the whole place, and trees is what is our problem. Everywhere, the corridors of trees within them woods, they're on top of the wires. And second of all, along roads and along all be it communications cables or be it ESB cables. That's what has caused our problem everywhere, and we've got to address that. And I would ask you, Minister, that a lot of contractors went in helping out, and a lot of farmers now will need hedge cutting done and stuff like that. You need to be looking at the end of this month by extending that for those people. What do? We need to learn from this. We can give out, but we need to learn. Minister, in your department, you have the group water schemes, I think, in my opinion, and I think you need to arm them now for the future. DBOs as well, and you need to haul Irish water in, because they should be prepared for something like this again. I think that, you know, that's in your gift and you need to do it. Sadly, the Minister for Enterprise, Minister Burke, seems to have disappeared. There needs to be a budget put in place for small businesses, and also for the likes of creches and places like that. But for small businesses, there isn't a word out of anyone how we're going to help them. They've been closed and they need to have a backup, and I think we need to make sure we do that. In relation to Minister Cleary, and I do welcome that you are into a phone all the time, but there's one thing I will ask you. We need to look straight away and see what can we do for local communities in reinforcing, be it small generators, a grant towards it, especially people that is underlying problems, but also community hubs to make sure that they're armed. But the one thing on the humanitarian side of it, and I know you're familiar with it, but they seem to be just saying it's basically in the house with one form if the fridge got into trouble or whatever, but after that, maybe damage at the house. But outside that, we have turf sheds. But we also have one thing, and some minister needs to address this. TAMs, and I welcome Minister Hayden's on the announcement on the generators, but TAMs for sheds that the roof has gone off isn't going to work, because the roof has gone off it at the moment. There's cows calving, there's weanlings within in sheds. And what they want is purlines and sheets of galvanise, to put it simple. It's not that we need to build a full new shed and put in our name and then have someone after 3 months telling us we can do it and then go down the road of getting a grant 40%. We need hard money type of a fund this minute, and I would ask you, Deputy or Minister Cleary, would you talk to the ministers about this, because this needs doing. These sheds, this isn't complicated stuff, it's sheets of galvanise, and its sheets and its purlines is the big thing that has been taken away, and those farmers need help in that. I would ask you also to make sure that whatever legislation, we need to do legislation shortly to make sure that these trees, that there isn't some do-gooder now saying, well, that's too near the wires. And I would ask you that this has to be addressed. I'm saying, and I'm the first to say it, that we'd sow 2 down the field. But let no one be coming along in a suit telling someone you cannot cut this after they're spending 3 weeks without electricity. This has to stop. The madness has to stop what's going on right around the country. The other thing, Minister Cleary, I would say to you is an awful lot of people with petrol for generators hired them out, and a lot of people had to pay extra for food and that, trying to get foods in places. I know that there was some laid on. I would ask you to look at that for those people, because we need to learn every little piece of what went wrong to try and rectify it. In the line of the ESB, yes, investment needs to be done. Poles broke in places. But I'll tell you one thing, they're damn good reason, a lot of them, to break, because there was big lumps of basically forestry trees that come down them. The other thing that needs to be addressed and this is in state forestry and private forestry, is that there are trees that came down on an adjacent farmer's field, blowing the fences out of it. And I would ask you as a government to look, you've only a week or two left, that the contractors that went in helping out right around the west of Ireland have other work that they were to be at in the line of hedge cutting. I would ask you to look at that. And Deputy Cleary, in the line of rural Ireland, will you please, I'm saying it very clear to you, whoever, a lot of ministers mightn't understand what went on. You are from the west. You saw the destruction that was done. I am asking you, on the line of the sheds that have been decimated in the line of the roofs, it's the roofs, it's not the walls, will you please talk to somebody and put a fund in place for that, because the Thames it's going to be too long. Like, the summer will be ended and the winter will be coming again and it won't be resolved. I am asking you, will you try and resolve that and the other things that I have mentioned here? Thanks.
Deputy.
Like, share, and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you.